Good morning, dear children. Wishes for a blessing week ahead. I invite you for your ninth standard with a pleasant smile. Okay, today we are going to see the lesson in civics, the forms of government and democracy. Government. What do you mean about government? Do you know the meaning of government? The activity or method of controlling a country. The group of people who rule or control the whole country in an efficient manner. To say simply, the government is the body of a person that comprises with governing authority, and it's very necessary for the civilized society. Now let's see the forms of government. The governance of the nation differs. That is, it differs with the political leader who takes their position in ruling based on his power. We have different forms of government: aristocracy, monarchy, autocracy, oligarchy, theocracy, democracy, and republic. Now let's start with the first form of government, aristocracy. It's a power held by the nobles. So the power in the hands of nobles, the virtue people. This type of government is followed in United Kingdom and Spain. The next one is monarchy. Monarchy, simply to say, is with king's rule or queen's rule. Okay, we'll see about that. The supreme governing, he is the full authority for the whole kingdom. And the countries follow is Oman, Bhutan, and Qatar. Also, in other words, we'll say this is an old form of government with divine right, divine authority, and their authority has been passed by their successors throughout the generation. And so the total power to say with the ruling, military, politics, and economy comes under their control. They were the dominating person. He is the head for the whole country till his life or until his abdication. Abdication means till his power has been went on. The next we see is autocracy, a system of government by the person with absolute power. The countries follow is North Korea and South Korea. Oligarchy, a small group of people having control of the country. It may be different groups also with race or whatever it may be. The country that follow is former Soviet Union, China, and Peninsula. See, here we can see oligarchy, aristocracy, and plutocracy. It's with a different rule. Oligarchy is said to rule by a few people, a small group of people. Aristocracy with nobles, and plutocracy with the wealthy person. Government with few people who dominates all the over of military power, wealth and the social status, everything. Election may be held but offer only a single candidate, and even it exists in Greek city-states in older days. Now we are going to see the next form of government, theocracy. The religious doctrines form the basis of government, which is headed by the priest. He rules in the name of the God. He also has been considered as a representative of God. This type of government, the theocracy, is followed in the country, in the city Vatican. Here we see Vatican City with the leader Pope Francis with a good smile. The next one is democracy. This is what we follow in most of the modern countries. It's a form of government that allows people to choose their leaders. People have to choose. How the people choose? Through the elections. Hope you are familiar with the elections. At least know about the election. Well, this type of democracy is followed in India, United Nations of America and France. The final one we are going to see is republic. Elected representatives rule the country. The whole authority will be under their control. Here in our country we follow this republic type of democracy, and also in Australia. Among all these forms of government, let's see a detailed explanation of democracy. What is democracy? Just read behind me to know well about democracy. Democracy is a form of government that allows people to choose their rulers. Only leaders elected by the people should rule the country. People have the freedom to express views, freedom to organize, and freedom to protest. Okay, we'll see about the last point, freedom to express views. The people can oppose, or people can express their own feeling through the opposition towards the government. Freedom to organize a meeting or organize anything in groups. Freedom to protest, it can be against the government also, but all in smooth way under the constitution. Well, we'll move on to the next one, people, power and democracy. So democracy means it's with people power. People give the power to the ruler. What do you mean the word democracy? It has been derived from the Greek words demos, it's a meaning of people, kratia, meaning of power. Thus, Literally, democracy means the power of the people. Well, good children, let's salute and honor our father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Now, let's see what do our father of our nation says about democracy. Yes, true democracy cannot be worked by 20 men sitting at the center. It has to be worked from the below by the people of every village. The meaning is the authority person or the representatives have to know the feeling of the people even at the low level. The government is not that is seated and discussed by the eminent personalities. The next leader we are seeing is Abraham Lincoln. What do Abraham Lincoln says about democracy? Democracy as a government of the people, by the people, and it should be for the people. Okay? Yeah. This is one of your answer. Please by heart. Salient features of democracy. It should be elected by the people. So, what's that it says? The power should be given by the people to the ruler. So, it holds with elected representatives. Then only the representatives will serve the people properly. The next we are going to see is voting should not be bought or compelled. How the power will be given to the representative through the votes. So that should be not compelled. So what the vote, what the election decides, that should be final and the genuine decision to make the power. It should be free and fair election. Universal Adult Francis says that a citizen, one who attained the age of 18 without any discrimination, have right to vote. He may be or he or she, a citizen may be male or female, or without any caste or color, creed or sex, or with any religion or region. No variation, no discrimination, no difference at all. If he says he is a citizen at the age of 18, he has a right to vote and select or elect a representative. Why all these? Because to protect the fundamental rights of a citizen individually, and the fundamental rights should be preserved in a very well manner. Evolution of democracy. Democracy has been begun 2500 years ago in Greece. And in India, during the Vedic period itself, it has been existed. Now let's see what the democracy represents. Democracy represented freedom, equality, liberty, accountability, transparency, and trust. You know very well what is freedom, equalness, liberty, free to do whatever you wanted, accountability, it should be accounted in a proper way, transparency. It should be well seen or known or given very clearly to the people. Trust. Final is trust. It should be a trustworthy thing. Democracy. It gives freedom of speech, the right to vote in fair elections, freedom of assembly, fair legal system. The justice should be in a fair way, freedom of press. Types of democracy. We have two types of democracy. One is direct democracy, the other one is indirect democracy. Let's see what is direct democracy. It is the people participate directly, and indirect democracy is the people elected as representatives will participate in this. That is called as indirect democracy. Not that the whole people, only the representatives who the people elect in the election will be here. So thus we have two types of democracy. One is direct democracy and the other one is indirect democracy. Well, what were the major challenge of Indian democracy? You know very well, to survive in the country, we have some hurdles, obstacles. So all these have to be overcome in this contemporary world. So the challenges to Indian democracy have to be overcome. What were the challenges? The first one is illiteracy. Illiteracy in the sense the people of the country have to be given education. So the first major challenge is to get rid of this illiteracy. The second one, poverty. Everyone, the whole nation, the people have to be given food for all. Gender discrimination. No difference or no variation between male or female, whatever it may be, even in the work or in wages, everything, even in the dignity, it has to be given equal rights. Regionalism. India has been divided according to the region, so no variation in the regionalism. The next one is casteism, communalism and religious fundamentalism. So caste, community wise and religious wise, no difference. Corruption, it's a verse and curse of the nation, which still most of the leaders are fighting for against the corruption. Bribery. The seventh one we are seeing is criminalization of politics. Is another curse of our nation. You know very well how our political leaders are right now. Okay. The next one, political violence. So political violence also a major challenge which we have to get rid of it. So for a peaceful democracy, all these challenges have to be removed from our country. Thus, we end today's session. Thank you. Children, learn and write your homework by which has been given in every session. Get signed from your parents with date. Also, post your homework privately to my mobile number immediately. Well, see the answers what is to be written today. First question is Abraham Lincoln's definition about democracy. The second one, the types of democracy and the forms of democratic government, and the fourth one is major challenges to Indian democracy. Thus, we end today. God bless you all.